Breaking news. A traveler's first steps in the Philippines. Today, I landed in the heart of Manila, a city filled with dreams, traffic, and the unknown. The excitement was electric. My heart raced as the plane doors opened, and the humid air of Southeast Asia gently greeted me. This was not just another trip. This was the beginning of an adventure I'd waited for my whole life. As the wheels touched down, I remembered every travel video and blog I'd watched about Manila. Expect chaos and crowded streets, they said. Be alert. But standing in the aisle, I felt a mix of nervous energy and pure joy. My mind buzzed with questions. Would people be friendly? How easy would it be to get around? What would surprise me the most? From my airplane window, I caught my first real glimpse of Manila. There were pockets of green, dazzling city lights, and a skyline that stretched far into the distance. It looked modern, alive, and so much cleaner than I had pictured. Was this really Manila? Or had I landed somewhere else? The captain's voice crackled through the speakers. Welcome to Ninoy Aquino International Airport. I smiled. It was official. I was in the Philippines. My Manila adventure was about to begin. Stepping off the plane, the first thing I noticed was the warm, thick air. It wrapped around me like a friendly hug. I followed the signs for arrivals and joined the crowd of travelers. The airport was busy, but organized. Filipino voices echoed off the tiled floors. I saw families waiting, taxi drivers holding signs, and travelers like me, wide-eyed and eager. The immigration line moved quickly. A smiling officer greeted me with, "Good morning, sir," and stamped my passport. It felt surprisingly easy. The airport itself was much cleaner and brighter than I expected. Big windows let in lots of sunlight. There were plants everywhere and the staff wore neat uniforms. Manila was already breaking all the stereotypes I had heard. As I walked to the baggage claim, I took in more details: digital screens, shiny floors, and fresh smells from a nearby bakery. Everything felt safe and welcoming. There were signs in English and Filipino, so finding my way was simple. The crowd was polite and calm. A few people even stopped to help when I looked lost for a moment. My first impression: Manila was modern, orderly, and much more relaxed than I imagined. It felt like the perfect place to start my adventure. First mission: find my luggage. I waited at the carousel, a little anxious, but my bag showed up quickly. Another pleasant surprise. With my backpack and suitcase rolling behind me, I followed the flow of passengers toward the exit. Next, I needed pesos. The money exchange counters were lined up neatly. The staff smiled and spoke clear English, making the process simple. I handed over my dollars. In return, I got a thick bundle of colorful bills. The pesos felt crisp and new in my hands. I counted them twice, just to be sure. Now, for transportation. I had read about Manila's traffic, so I was ready for a challenge. Outside, I saw a sea of taxis, buses, and people. I opened my Grab app and, to my relief, found plenty of available drivers. In just a few minutes, a friendly man named Jun drove up in a clean car. He greeted me with a cheerful, "Welcome to Manila," and helped with my bags. As we drove away, I glanced out the window. Palm trees lined the roads, and the city looked even more inviting. My adventure had truly begun. Arriving at my hotel, I felt a wave of relief. The lobby was cool and stylish, with soft music playing and friendly staff ready to help. I checked in easily. The receptionist handed me a keycard, her smile wide and genuine. "Enjoy your stay, sir," she said, with a little bow. My room was bigger than expected. It had a soft bed, a spotless bathroom, and an amazing view of the city skyline. There was even a welcome note on the table, signed by the manager. The air conditioning hummed gently. After a long flight, this felt like paradise. I unpacked slowly, checking out every detail. The TV had local channels, and the minibar was stocked with Filipino snacks. I opened the curtains wide. Outside, I could see modern glass buildings, green parks, and busy streets below. Manila looked full of energy, but also surprisingly clean and organized. After a quick shower, I stretched out on the bed. The city noises drifted up from the street, a mix of laughter, car horns, and distant music. I felt comfortable, safe, and ready to explore every corner of this city. No Manila adventure is complete without Jollibee. I set out hungry, eager to try the famous Filipino fast food. The nearest branch was easy to find. Its bright red bee mascot is impossible to miss. Inside, the place buzzed with families, students, and locals grabbing a quick meal. I ordered the chicken joy with rice and a side of spaghetti. The food was served fast, steaming hot. The first bite of chicken joy was a revelation, crispy on the outside, juicy inside, and just a little sweet. The spaghetti was bright red, topped with cheese and little bits of meat. It was so different from Italian pasta, sweeter, richer, and really comforting. The meal was cheap too. For just a few dollars, I had a full plate and a cold drink. I loved how everyone in the restaurant seemed happy and relaxed. Eating at Jollibee wasn't just about the food, it was about the vibe, loud, cheerful, and uniquely Filipino. After my meal, I knew I had to try more local dishes. I made a mental list: adobo, halo, and maybe balut if I was brave. But for now, Jollibee was the perfect welcome to the flavors of the Philippines. Walking outside, I was amazed by Manila's cityscape. Wide, clean streets were lined with palm trees and colorful flowers. Modern skyscrapers towered above, their glass windows reflecting the sunshine. It felt like a blend of Asian energy and Western style, with a Filipino twist everywhere I looked. Everywhere, people were moving, on foot, on bikes, and most of all, in the famous jeepneys. The first time I saw one, I smiled. These bright, art-covered minibuses are a Manila icon. I watched as people hopped on and off, squeezing together and handing coins to the driver. The jeepneys looked like a party on wheels. I decided to try a ride. Climbing in, I ducked under the low roof and squeezed onto a bench. The ride was bumpy, but fun. The driver called out stops, and passengers chatted in Taglish, a mix of Tagalog and English. It felt wild, friendly, and totally new to me. As we rumbled down the street, I noticed more surprises: spotless parks, clever street art, and smiling kids playing basketball. Manila was full of life and full of surprises, everywhere I turned. I quickly learned why Manila is called the City of Smiles. Everywhere I went, people greeted me with warmth and kindness. At the hotel, the staff remembered my name. In the streets, strangers offered directions without being asked. Every hello and good morning felt sincere. At a small bakery, I tried some pandesal bread. The woman behind the counter laughed as I struggled with the change. She showed me the right coins and made sure I got every peso back. We chatted for a few minutes and she told me about her favorite places in Manila. It was like talking to an old friend. Even in the busy city center, locals made time to help. A group of students practicing their English stopped me to ask about my home country. We took selfies together and they taught me a few Tagalog phrases. Their laughter was contagious. The best part was how safe I felt. There was no rush, no pressure, just genuine friendliness everywhere. Manila was quickly becoming one of the warmest cities I'd ever visited. Of course, not everything went perfectly. My first jeepney ride was a bit confusing. I almost missed my stop because I didn't know how to signal the driver. A kind lady tapped my shoulder and showed me the trick. Just say "Parapo" and the jeepney stops. Problem solved with a smile. Money was another challenge. The bills looked similar, and I handed over a 500 peso note for a 50 peso meal. The cashier politely corrected me, and we both laughed. I learned fast. Always double-check your pesos. Ordering food was an adventure too. Some dishes had names I couldn't pronounce, and the menus mixed English and Filipino words. A waiter patiently explained each one, and even recommended his favorite. He made sure I enjoyed every bite. Every small mistake turned into a funny story or a learning moment. Manila was full of surprises, but everyone seemed happy to help me figure things out. As the sun set, I walked back to my hotel reflecting on the day. Manila wasn't what I expected. It was better. The city felt alive, safe, and welcoming. The people were generous with their smiles and their time. Every street had a story, every meal a new taste, and every moment was filled with warmth. I admired how modern and clean the city looked. The parks were green, the buildings tall, and the air filled with music and laughter. I felt safe walking around, even at night. There was a sense of community here, and a pride in their city that was easy to spot. Looking back, I realized how lucky I was to start my adventure in Manila. The city had already taught me so much about kindness, patience, and fun. I was inspired by how locals mix tradition with modern life, always with a smile. Tomorrow is a new day, and I can't wait to explore more. If you ever get the chance, visit Manila. The city is ready to surprise you, just like it surprised me.